Have you ever come across a creature so strange that you had to do a triple take, thinking it might have slipped out of a science fiction movie? Have you ever seen something with limbs so unnervingly long that it looked like a ghost from another universe? Or maybe you've spotted a bizarre underground dweller with a nose shaped like a starburst, completely ignoring every rule of what's normal on Earth. If that kind of bizarre beauty pulls you in, stick around because in today's video we're going to look at 15 alien-like monsters you could encounter on Earth right now. Number 15. Axolotl. Some animals never grow up, and not in the cute cartoon way. The axolotl, native to Mexico's ancient lake beds, is a creature that simply refuses to follow the standard rulebook of life. We mean, just look at that cutie. Unlike most amphibians that shift from water to land, it skips metamorphosis entirely, staying aquatic forever. Its soft, wide head and feathery external gills give it a look that feels more imagined than evolved. But its strange beauty runs deeper than appearances. This little being can regrow parts of its body, including limbs, organs, and even portions of its brain. Scientists have tried to decode its abilities for decades, hoping to one day mirror its healing in human medicine. Watching it drift through the water, half smiling with its permanently youthful face, it almost feels like time doesn't apply to it. The axolotl isn't just a reminder that biology can be weird. It's proof that Earth still has room for creatures that make no logical sense, and yet carry secrets powerful enough to rewrite what we know about life itself. Number 14. Leafy sea dragon. If you ever find yourself staring into the blue haze of the southern Australian coast and notice a floating piece of seaweed that swims, don't blink. That's no plant. It's a leafy sea dragon, one of the ocean's most delicate guys. Covered in fins that mimic the shape and sway of seaweed, it blends effortlessly into underwater kelp forests. There's no rush in its movement, just a slow, mesmerizing drift. That's how it survives, not by speed but by vanishing into the background. Predators ignore it. Humans barely see it. But up close, it's a creature of impossible detail. Each fin curling like a tiny ribbon, each movement soft and slow. It doesn't fight. It doesn't hide. It just becomes the seaweed. There's something beautiful about a creature that survives by being quiet. It's a form of camouflage that borders on art, and in a world obsessed with loud predators and sharp teeth, the leafy sea dragon is proof that disappearing might be the most powerful trick of all. Number 13. Star-nosed mole. Some creatures look like science fiction by accident. The star-nosed mole, for example, seems like it wandered out of a dream and never realized it wasn't supposed to exist. Found in the damp soils of North America, it spends most of its life underground, digging through mud and tunnels with its hands while its strange, star-shaped nose does all the real work. This fleshy ring of tentacles isn't decorative, it's packed with more than 25,000 touch receptors, making it the most sensitive organ in the entire animal kingdom. That odd little star allows it to see by touch, mapping the world in milliseconds and catching prey before most animals would even register movement. You won't find it basking in the sun or posing for the camera. It moves through the dark, fast and silent, decoding its environment in ways we'll never fully understand. It doesn't just belong underground. It commands it, navigating through silence and mud like it's born from some place that never cared for eyes or light. Do you want to keep this beauty as a pet? Let us know. Number 12. Tardigrade. Tiny doesn't mean fragile, not in the case of the tardigrade. This microscopic wonder has survived the kind of punishment that would reduce nearly every other living thing to dust. You can freeze it, boil it, crush it under the weight of an ocean, zap it with radiation, or even launch it into space, and it still shows up to work. It doesn't flinch. It just pauses. Then it unpauses. With stubby legs and a pudgy, almost gummy bear-like body, it looks harmless, even endearing under a microscope. But behind those soft folds lies one of the most extreme survival strategies on Earth. When threatened, the tardigrade curls into a dry, near-dead state called a ton, waiting for conditions to improve. It can stay that way for decades. Then, with just a drop of water, it comes back to life like nothing happened. It doesn't thrive because of aggression or speed, but because it knows how to vanish, endure, and return. It's not just tough, it's timeless. Number 11. Red-lipped batfish. The ocean floor isn't supposed to have lipstick, but this fish didn't get the memo. With a pout that looks ready for a catwalk and a body shaped like a failed experiment, it shuffles awkwardly across the seabed near the Galapagos Islands. This fish doesn't swim well. It walks, using its fins like clumsy limbs. Its lips, a glaring shade of crimson, aren't just decoration. Scientists believe they help the fish attract mates, acting like a neon sign in the deep. But even with that bright red beacon, there's something melancholy about it. Its gait is slow, its body tilts, its eyes seem unsure. It's like watching an alien try to mimic Earth life and getting the details slightly wrong. The batfish doesn't belong in a school or a swarm. It wanders alone, part fish, part something else entirely. And as strange as it looks, it doesn't seem to care. It moves through the murk without apology, proving that being bizarre isn't always a flaw. Sometimes it's the whole point. Number 10. Giraffe weevil. Some creatures make you pause, not because they're big or scary, but because they seem to be built from a forgotten blueprint. The giraffe weevil is one of them, undoubtedly. Native to Madagascar, this tiny insect barely reaches an inch in length, yet its neck stretches absurdly long, especially in males. It's not a design flaw, it's a weapon and a tool. Males use their necks to craft delicate leaf nests, rolling the edges into protective cradles where females can lay their eggs. But during mating season, those same necks turn into jousting poles. Two males will grapple and try to knock each other down, each twisting a silent duel for dominance. Watching it unfold, you'd think you're witnessing an ancient ritual play out on a leaf. It's fragile, it's weird, and it's oddly moving. There's no roar, no claws, just a long-necked bug trying to outcraft and out-wrestle its rival, all in the name of love. And somehow, that's more alien than anything with teeth. Number 9. Mantis shrimp. Not everything alien-looking lives in the dark. Some are bold and loud, and they punch holes through their surroundings. The mantis shrimp is one of those anomalies. A rainbow-colored brawler with a weaponized punch. Its club-like arms aren't for show. When they strike, they move faster than a bullet. The shockwave is strong enough to boil the water around it, and the force is so violent that it can crack aquarium glass. But violence isn't its only talent. Its eyes are in a league of their own, capable of detecting polarized light and colors that human eyes will never comprehend. It seems a world layered in invisible patterns. And while it might look like something from a psychedelic painting, it's very real and very territorial. These creatures don't just survive, they dominate. It's easy to look at its flashy colors and small size and underestimate it. That's usually a mistake, because in its tiny underwater kingdom, the mantis shrimp is a gladiator, fierce, fast, and utterly untouchable. Alright guys, now let's talk about number 8. Thorny dragon. You don't expect to find elegance in a desert, but then again, this horny dragon doesn't play by expectations. It moves across the sands of Australia like a miniature fortress, its body covered in hardened spikes, looking more like a sculpted artifact than a living reptile. The armor isn't just for show. It deters predators but also serves a hidden purpose. When the air cools in the early morning, tiny droplets of dew collect on its spines. Those droplets slowly flow toward its mouth through microscopic grooves, a design that seems more engineered than evolved. As the day heats up, it changes color to blend into the sands, fading from yellow to dark brown in response to the light. Nothing about this lizard feels accidental. It's like every part of its body was built for survival under a microscope. When it walks, its limbs lift high like a puppet, awkward and deliberate, yet perfectly balanced. It doesn't just exist in the desert, it becomes it one grain of sand at a time. Number 7. Pink fairy armadillo. In the dry plains of Argentina, there's a creature so elusive it borders on myth. The pink fairy armadillo isn't just small, it's practically pocket-sized. Its soft pink shell, delicate white fur, and gentle movement make it seem like it wandered out of a dream instead of an animal burrow. But don't let its fragile appearance fool you. This creature is built for its environment. It swims through sand, not like a clumsy digger, but more like a leaf gliding beneath the surface. Blink, and it's gone. No trace, no sound, just the faint memory of motion. Its life is nocturnal, solitary, and often invisible. Locals sometimes speak of it like a whisper, something half-real that belongs more to folklore than biology. And maybe that's what makes it so fascinating. It's not flashy, it doesn't perform. It simply exists on the edge of perception, a creature born of stillness and silence, reminding us that magic doesn't always come in large, loud, or obvious forms. Number 6. Frilled shark. It doesn't move like a shark. It coils, it slides, it opens its mouth, and suddenly you're looking at something that doesn't belong in the present. This shark is rarely seen, and for great reason it prefers the darkest parts of the ocean, far from light or human interference. Its name comes from the frilled gill slits that flare like old lace collars when it hunts, but its mouth, lined with dozens of needle-like teeth, is what turns it into something unsettling. Instead of the typical charge and chomp of modern sharks, it lunges like a serpent, snapping forward in a strike more snake than fish. Everything about it screams ancient. Its jaw structure, its slow movement, even the deep-set eyes that look as though they've been watching since before we walked upright. It's not flashy or fierce in the traditional sense. But if you ever saw one emerge from the deep, teeth glinting in slow motion, you'd understand why some monsters don't need to roar. They just need to exist. Number 5. Magna pinna squid. In the deepest, blackest stretches of the ocean, where sunlight doesn't bother to visit, a shape drifts slowly through the water. It doesn't hunt, it hovers. Its limbs stretch out like strands of silk, dangling eerily in the dark. This is the Magna pinna squid, a creature seen so rarely that scientists still argue about its behavior, its life cycle, and even its diet. What they do agree on is that it's unlike anything else. Its arms and tentacles can be over 15 times the length of its body, and they don't curl or coil, they just dangle like ghostly threads. Watching it on deep-sea footage is unsettling. There's no rush, no flurry of movement, just the slow, deliberate glide of something that looks like it shouldn't exist. It doesn't blink, it doesn't flinch, it just watches. And maybe that's what makes it feel so foreign, like it's not part of the natural world at all, but something observing us detached from a place we were never meant to reach. All right, now, let's move to number 4, blobfish. Some faces feel like a protest against beauty standards. The blobfish has never pretended to be elegant, streamlined, or inspiring. It just exists, soft, sagging, gelatinous, and utterly indifferent. But here's the thing. That droopy appearance we all love to meme, it only looks like that when it's dragged out of its world and into ours. Down in the crushing depths off the coasts of Australia and New Zealand, the blobfish is perfectly suited for its high-pressure home. Its body lacks bones and muscles because it doesn't need them. It floats effortlessly, expending almost no energy, feeding on whatever passes by. It doesn't chase. It doesn't bite. It waits. And that's the quiet genius of it. Above the surface, it looks like it's melting. Below, it's a master of survival. No flash, no fury, just pure adaptation. It isn't here to impress, it's here because it works. And sometimes, nature's most alien creatures are the ones that don't try to be anything but exactly what they are. Number 3. Arthropleura. Before mammals ruled the land, before birds filled the sky, a massive millipede crawled through ancient forests. Arthropleura wasn't just big. It was colossal, stretching over 8 feet long. Its body was a segmented fortress, armored and gliding across prehistoric leaves like a slow-moving train. Despite its size, it wasn't a predator. It feasted on rotting plant matter, breaking down fallen ferns and logs in a world thick with humidity and high oxygen. There's something almost surreal about a creature so large, and yet so passive, existing not to dominate but to recycle. Fossils show a being that could rival the length of a human adult, but didn't need to chase or kill to survive. Its size was made possible by an atmosphere we'll never breathe again, rich, heavy and buzzing with strange life. If you stumbled across one today, it would feel less like a bug, and more like a relic from a forgotten planet, and in some ways, maybe that's exactly what it was. Number 2. Long-wattled umbrella bird. Deep in the misty jungles of Ecuador and Colombia, there's a bird that seems stitched together from shadows. The long-wattled umbrella bird is an oddity, towering black crest fanning out like an umbrella above its head, with a long feathered wattle hanging down its chest like an alien pendant. This dangling ornament inflates when the bird calls, releasing a booming sound that rolls through the rainforest like distant thunder. The sound is low, almost mournful, and paired with its gothic appearance, it gives the umbrella bird a haunted elegance. It doesn't dance or dazzle like tropical parrots do. It waits, watches, calls, and somehow that stillness is even more captivating. The wattle might seem ridiculous at first glance, but in the dense layered acoustics of the rainforest, it's the perfect resonator. It carries the bird's voice far through the trees, a strange broadcast in a strange body. If birds are supposed to be symbols of lightness, this one breaks the rule completely. It's grounded, dramatic, and built like it was designed for fog. Number 1. Sunda Kalugo. Gliding silently through Southeast Asia's dense rainforests is a creature most people will never spot, even if it flies right over them. The Sunda Kalugo, sometimes called the flying lemur, though it's neither a lemur nor capable of real flight, is an expert in aerial finesse. It doesn't flap, it floats. With thin skin stretched between its limbs, it launches from tree trunks and drifts across the forest like a sheet of paper caught in a breeze. Some gliders have measured over 100 meters without a single wing beat. It moves like a ghost, silent, weightless, and gone before you can process what you saw. During the day, it disappears into the camouflage of the canopy, curled up and waiting for dusk. At night, it takes to the air again, moving from shadow to shadow. It doesn't roar. It doesn't flash. It simply glides through the darkness, a quiet reminder that some of Earth's most alien creatures don't live in the deep. They live just above your head. If you found this video interesting, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more mind-blowing content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon in the next one.